All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank y'all for going to do the poll question. If you haven't done that yet, you can go to menti.com, MENTI, and answer those 3 questions. And we're just kind of walk through those in a minute to see what your answers were. So, kind of our agenda for today. Thank you guys for coming. We're happy to have you in the library. We're going to talk about Handshake first. So, Amy from the Career Center is going to go over how to look up jobs and internships. And if you guys have examples, we can look for specific things. Next, we're going to talk about Data Axle, which is a library database that you can access through our website. And so, Sharon from the library is going to talk about that. And then the last one we're going to do is IBISWorld, which is another library database that you access through our website. So, let's look at your answers real quick. And you guys, your answers are compiled together with the first session we had at 11:30, so it's combined. But we were curious to know how you're finding out about your career interests so far. So it looks like professors and websites are kind of pretty even. Career counselors and friends are lower, and then there's an other category. Okay, let's look at the next question. So, what questions do you have? I was going to see if there's any new ones that I saw from last time. So, how do I present myself suitable for a new career? That's a great question. How can I find a career that's best fit for me? Good thinking. And how do I even begin a job search? How do I know if a job is well paying? Great questions. So, we may not cover all of those specific things today, but that's super helpful for us to know when we plan other workshops to know what you guys are interested in. So, thank you guys for asking those questions. And we'll try to incorporate some of those today. And then lastly, we just said, what other career workshop topics would you like to see? So I'm seeing a lot of things about internships, interviewing, interview prep, resumes, networking. Awesome. Good things for us to think about. That's very helpful. So thank you. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Amy, and she's going to start walking you guys through Handshake.
Okay, my name is Amy. I'm with the Career Development Center, and we are located in the KUC on the 3rd floor. Like if you know where McCallie's is, go up the stairs right outside of that, and we're the first door on the right. So, one of the things we're not going to cover today, but I can help you with, or one of our other career advisors can, is interview prep and resume building, cover letters, anything like that. We can help you if you want to schedule an appointment. And we also have some resources on our website online. So today we're going to talk about Handshake. Well, actually, before that, how do you, if you were going to look for a job, what would be the first place you would look? Yeah, LinkedIn. That's a good one. Anybody else? And Indeed, those are the two that I hear the most. And Handshake is another option. One reason it's the best one actually for college students is because it's the only people that can be on it are college students or recent college students. It's fairly new in the sense that like if I couldn't be on it if I didn't work here. But so the thing is, companies that post jobs on Handshake mean they are looking for true college student graduates. So the entry level positions are going to be like little to no experience required, because you can do things like internships, you can have part-time jobs in college that aren't always relevant to what you're going to be doing after you graduate. And Handshake jobs that are posted are ones that are that will be true entry level. They are posted for, there are jobs posted all over the United States, and so you can locate this certain area that you want to look in. But that is one reason to really do it. This is a new look for Handshake. Has anybody, has everyone, or is there anyone that hasn't been on it yet? Has everyone signed in it at some point? No? Okay, I'm going to show you how to get there. Okay, if you go to mtsu.edu/career, that's our career development webpage. And you will see on the right-hand side the little H. And if you click on that, it will take you to Handshake. The first time you open it, you'll see like the little MTSU blue, royal blue at the top, only it'll be on the whole page and it will say login. You log into it just like you log into the computer here. Just use those credentials. And then the first time you do, it's going to take you to a profile page where you have to fill in specific certain pieces of information, but you can skip the rest to get to this page. So after you log in the first time, every time after you'll come right into this page. These pictures at the top, they're actually little videos from other students, which is a new feature. So they're trying to make this a little bit more like LinkedIn so that you can network on Handshake with other students, maybe in your major. And also you will see information from companies that just jobs that they might have available in general, things you might not think about looking into. One of the things that we're talking about today is how to job search. And so this is the main page when you log into it. It's going to have this, top jobs for you. So depending on your major, they're going to pull some jobs that might be of interest. They may not be in the area that you're looking at, but it might give you ideas of some jobs that are out there. Popular employers in general studies, but if you were in management or if you were in education, it would give different jobs. So these are catered just to you. You also will notice as you scroll down here, it has upcoming career fairs. So all the ones with the blue MT are ones that are going to be hosted here. The big one is coming up not in 2 days, but next Thursday, the 26th, from noon to 3 in the rec center. And there will be over 200 employers. So even if you're not looking for a job or internship currently, I recommend that you go because it's a good experience to get familiar with a career fair, and you never know who you might meet. Take a few resumes and find companies that you're interested in looking at and talking with, see what they have available, and see, and you might make a connection. I have talked to students who see the same recruiters at the same tables each year. And then, in fact, last spring, one girl came out of a fair and she said, "Oh my goodness, I have an interview for an internship I've been wanting when it was time for her to get an internship." And I don't know that she got it or not, but it's a really big deal if they notice you at the career fair, because a lot of times there are jobs that are posted on LinkedIn, Indeed, Handshake, but 80% of jobs, research shows, are actually that are actually available are secured through networking or recruiters. So they're not all posted. And so career fairs are a great place for college students to meet employers. Briefly, I want to go through that career fair to show you one thing. I'm going to do it quickly. If you click on the big career fair, you can see the companies that will be here. Over on the right-hand side where you see this blue button, see right here, see more employers. If you click on that, it shows all of the employers. So you can scroll through, see if there are companies you're interested in. They'll show some of them will show the jobs or internships they're hiring for, and some don't. So don't let it scare you. If it's something that you're interested in, just make a note to see them at the career fair. Now we'll go over to jobs. On the left column here, this is kind of like where you find everything. If you click on jobs, that's where we can search for jobs or internships. So at the top of the page, these are search buttons. There's MTSU collections, I forgot to mention last time, location, on-site, remote, full-time, internship, or part-time. And so typically, instead of looking for internships right now, we're going to look for jobs. Is anybody going to be graduating soon and looking for a job? Or a couple of you? So just because I know there are more options on this for full-time jobs. But again, there are a lot of internships. It just depends on the day that we're looking. So someone tell me when you do graduate, or actually, let's look here. So we're going to look at jobs. Let's first pick our location. And just for quickness, I'm going to pick Murfreesboro and Nashville with a 50-mile radius. And you can just type it in here, and it usually saves. It did not save that. And then we're going to say full-time job. And we're going to go over here to the search window. So what kind of job is somebody going to be looking for? Maybe when you graduate. What are you majoring? I'm sorry, what? Psychology. Okay, awesome. Are you wanting to be like a counselor? Okay, so let's do this. We can do a couple things. You could either type psychology or you could do counseling. I'm going to do counseling. Okay, so this will give you in our location that we chose, which was the Nashville Murfreesboro area, and a full-time job. Their Murray County Schools has counselors for the 24-25 year, which is now, so that's interesting. And they're looking for full-time. There are crisis response counselors in Clarksville. Jewelry consultant. I do not know why that would be. Maybe they're jewelry counselors. School-based behavioral health liaison. And a few other things. It's very interesting how some jobs come up, but there must be the word counselor in there, something in their website. That's a good question. I don't think so. I don't think so. But you'll see most of them are fairly recent. So like, see how this one's posted a month ago? And because part of it is going to be, I don't think so. There are a lot of search things, but I'll double check that too. And if you want, I have a card over there if you want to check in with me. But one of the things, like the notification at the top, notify me about new jobs like this, you can turn that on. And then you will get, when you get on your homepage, it should notify you. These are new jobs. So then you'll know they're the most recent. But typically we try to keep them, some companies will post something for like 6 months or a year. We don't like that unless they truly are really hiring all the time, because we want you to have the most recent one. So they're fairly, yeah. Oh, did you have a question? Yeah. Oh, you're right. It does. Maybe let's look at that. Thank you. They have changed they've changed like every week, the last few weeks, they've changed something on Handshake. So I thought I reviewed everything this morning and I might have missed. There is application and date posted. Yep. And application deadline, which is important. So there we go. Yay. Thank you for seeing that. That's like, there's so many new things. It's like, oh my goodness. And I'm used to doing the same thing that I normally do. So but that's a way that you can look things up. A couple of neat things with this too. So say you want this particular position, or you're interested in the family support specialist in Nashville, just like on Instagram, it has a little flag. You can flag that, and it is a save button. It goes up into your saved searches, which is at the top. Right, so you can click on that. So like if you're scrolling through and you don't have time to read all the information about it, you can save the ones you're interested in. And so let's see. Here's one too. Mental health care. So maybe that one. And the camp counselor. So they're all different. But then you can go up to save, and it will pull up those jobs along with some that, well, no, yeah, my other one's expired. So these are jobs that you can look at. And when you want to find out information, you click on the title of that. It's going to pull up the job description. This is like obviously not, I guess it's not a job. It's probably a summer job. And no, it's just full time in October. That is very interesting. Oh, it's at this Adventure Summit. But you can click more, look for the tiny word, and it tells you what they're looking for. Essential functions, specific job knowledge, qualifications. And every job's going to do that, full-time, part-time. Some will have more information than others. If you wanted to look up an employer, information about an employer, I know one, Enterprise Mobility. That's like Enterprise Rent-A-Car. It's one of our partners at Intuition. And so, there we go, right there. You can do that, and if you want, you see the little follow button on the right, you can click that and say you want to keep up with what's going on with enterprise and the new job postings that they might have. They have a lot of internships coming up currently. You can click on enterprise and see it. Scroll down. They posted on Handshake recently, kind of like a LinkedIn post. And you can scroll down and see what other people who have worked there saying. And then keep going and you'll see jobs. So currently they're hiring for several jobs or internships. Software engineer, business analyst, security analyst, and financial analyst. So that's kind of cool. So you can check into those jobs, what they're looking for, and the qualifications and things. But because I clicked follow on enterprise, when I go back to, it changed the look of it, for employers, here we go. Employers you follow. So when I click on employers, the ones that I want to keep an eye on and see what jobs are coming up, they're going to come at the very beginning of your employer page. And then they're going to have others. But it shows ones that I follow. You can discover more employers, and it just kind of shows you some others you might be interested, maybe based on that one. All right. Any questions? If you have other questions or more specific things and deeper searches, you can schedule an appointment with me or one of the other career advisors, and we can do it by Zoom or in person. Again, we're located in the KUC on the 3rd floor. We'd love to help.
My computer is getting a little bit Well, hi everyone. My name is Sharon Parente. I'm one of the reference and user services librarians here at Walker Library. I'm also the distance learning services librarian. So if any of you are taking online classes, I'm a particular support person for you as well. I'm going to be showing you this afternoon a database called Data Axle Reference Solutions. It is basically a business directory database. And in this case, it's going to give us information about brick and mortar companies, both small ones as well as all the way up to large publicly traded companies and private companies. I'm going to go back over here and show you how to get into Data Axle, or really any of the library's databases. Okay. We are now back over at the library webpage. That is the place to go for you to access pretty much anything that the library subscribes to for you, including databases like Data Axle, but also our journal and magazine online collections that have quite extensive full text available for you. And we're going to go over to databases A to Z. There's more than one way to find all of our databases. We do have research guides too for business that will list them. But over here, this is going to give you an alphabetical listing of all the databases we have. And you could actually even filter this down here by subject. So you could go in and pull up all the different business databases that the library would have available. But I'm going to go back over here to databases A to Z, and we're going to go over here to D and go into Data Axle Reference Solution. Okay. This is the introductory page here, and you can easily see here, it says it basically covers 101 million businesses. That's really quite extensive. About 18 million of these businesses are verified. That means that Data Axle has contacted them to try and verify the information that is provided. You will kind of see when we pull up some records that in some cases, they're kind of using templates for businesses of certain sizes, because you would have to have a massively large company to get information on 101 billion businesses. So it really wasn't really kind of practical as far as that goes. But this is a great place to see what businesses are in, like Murfreesboro or Rutherford County, Nashville, Davidson County, or really anywhere that you might be looking. So I'm going to click here on the U.S. businesses, and we're starting here at the quick search prompt. There is an advanced search there. And if you click on the additional filters, that will also basically give you the advanced search functionality there. So you can do that either way you prefer. But sometimes it helps to, if you go to the library webpage, which is library.mtsu.edu, and it should be the home page in here, go to databases A to Z, and it'll be under the D for data axle. Okay. I think it can help to look up a business that's in the area that you're looking for so that you can see what the SIC codes and NAICE codes are. So I'm going to look up Just Love Coffee Cafe. And then I'm going to go down here and put Murfreesboro. And here's a tip. When you see Murfreesboro come down here below it in that kind of bluish, purplish box, click on that box. It's just a little quirk of the database that it doesn't like when you type in your own information. And then we'll go down here to Tennessee and then view results. Okay, well, there are actually a couple of Just Love Coffee locations. So we could pick one, we could compare different ones and see how one is doing compared to the other location. And it lets us know for two of them who the manager is. So I'm going to pick the one here from Medical Center Parkway. Okay. Okay, so it does pull in some jobs from ZipRecruiter. And down here, it does give us some SIC codes. I'm going to kind of zero in on the one from coffee shops. It also has the NAICE code. These are codes that the government uses to, so when you're getting statistics about a particular industry, that it's been assigned that that's what that particular company is involved with. That's their area of business. And there can be more than one, obviously. In some cases, they'll say, hey, this is their primary one. And the reason that the SIC code is still used a bit, especially like in data axle, is it's more descriptive, especially for retail outlets. So in this case, you know, there's a coffee shop. And if that's what we were really interested in, that's helpful. But down here, we've got snacking non-alcoholic beverage bars. So that's not terribly descriptive. This will become a little more important later on because we're going to do a search to pull up all of the coffee shops that have that code attached to them in Murfreesboro. It gives a nice little business profile down here that gives us a little history of how the business was established. And it gives us some information about the location, employee numbers, their local sales volume, when it was last updated. It's been in the database 4 years, and it lets us know their hours of operation. And it lets us know the name of the manager. We could click here for load company news if we wanted to. Another nice option here, which we have to click here to expand, is to pull up a Google map so we could see where specifically it is located. Sales volume by year. And what can be kind of helpful here too is this listing of nearby businesses. Are any of you feeling entrepreneurial? Well, you know, if you were going to establish your own business, you had a certain location, you might like to see, and pay special attention to what kind of businesses are located nearby. For a coffee shop, you might be looking like, hey, is there anything here that someone would go to and then want to come and get coffee? So, the Nothing But Cakes. So you can go to the Nothing But Cakes, and then you can go to get coffee at Just Love Coffee Cafe. That sounds like a plan. Murfreesboro Medical Clinic would be nearby. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Yeah, this one isn't showing, doesn't appear to include online businesses. It seems to just be some, sites that have brick and mortar. So. Unfortunately. I wish it did, but my goodness, I bet the number of businesses would just balloon in a crazy manner. Another thing I like down here is the competitors reports. So it's going to give us some ideas of some of the competitors in the area. It looks like it might have taken that first SIC code that was listed as primary. Let's go back here and pick another one. Okay, coffee shops is listed as primary for this one. I think it must not have been for the other locations. So now let's take a look at the competitors' reports. Okay, now we've got some legitimate coffee places here. So that's important too. So that can be helpful. You can kind of see what kind of competitors that you're dealing with, or the Just Love Coffee Cafe is dealing with here in Murfreesboro. I'm going to go on back here. And we're going to go in and do an advanced search now. All right. Now, we're going to go down this list of options on the left-hand side. And I need to start off with the keyword SIC MACE search. So I'm going to put in coffee shops. And then hit the enter key. And I can see right away that we have a match with the SIC code. And down here, some of those just aren't quite as good. So we're going to click here on coffee shops, and it's going to select it and put it in the select box. Then I'm going to go down here and do a city-state. I could also do a county. I could do more than one county, or more than one city. But I'm going to go down here and do a search here for Murfreesboro. There are actually 3 Murfreesboros in the US. So we'll click on Tennessee, and then that puts that in the select box. So I have coffee shops in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And then I'm going to go up here and click View Results. So now I've pulled up all of the businesses in Murfreesboro, Tennessee that have coffee shops listed as their SIC code, indicating that's the business they are conducting. So that, in addition to things that are very specifically coffee shops here, we get things like Dunkin', which I'm sure sells a lot of coffee with those donuts. McDonald's. There was Books A Million up there too. Red Bicycle, Panera. And all those many Starbucks locations. And then here on the last page, it includes Webb's Refreshments. Webb's services built businesses. So they go in and service and bring in your own coffee. Years and years ago, when I first started as a librarian, we had Webb's coffee service here until they got too expensive when we decided we would make our own coffee instead. But I remember webs from way, way, way back. All right. I am going to go on over here back to page 1, and I can do some pretty nifty things if I go here and select all on this page, then move over and select all on the second page, and then click the arrow and get the third page here too. For one thing, I can download them all. I can print them. Usually you can do up to about 250. That tends to be the cutoff. But among the things I like are these charts. So I'm going to click on the charts. And this is kind of cool here. It lets me kind of see how many of these businesses are in each of these zip code areas. So this is providing me some helpful information. I can see that 37129 has 25. So if I were going to do my own coffee shop, that might not be, I might want to move to another location that doesn't have as much competition. 12 for 37128, 10 for 37130, that should be near the MTSU area. Only 4 for 37127, and there's one here for 37132. Does anyone know what that zip code is, the 37132? Nope. You are sitting in it. MTSU has its very own zip code because we get a lot of mail. We totally get a lot of mail. Every morning the mail truck pulls up and it gives us lots of mail. And I can go here and click here. All right, it's our Starbucks that's located downstairs on your way out of the library to the right. If you need some coffee or a nice sugary drink on your way out. So we could take a look at that. And one thing we didn't see with the Just Love Coffee Cafe is Starbucks has a corporate tree option here. So we could pull up and get information about the corporation. I have clicked on it. It's just a little bit, everything's just a tad slow today, as we all know. We're lumping along with no Wi-Fi. Okay, it's thinking about it. There we go. All right, so you can see that's the parent company. And we could pull up here and get the information about the parent company. Amongst the things that are kind of helpful, shows all of these different names of people that are in higher up positions with the corporate entity. There's the name of the marketing person if you wanted to go into marketing at Starbucks. That's helpful to know. Of course, some other board members. Okay. Go back over here. Uh-huh. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. Any little bit helps. And you can probably figure out the format of their emails too. Not that terribly hard to do. Okay, here's our MTSU Starbucks location, and it's showing $720,000 in sales. Man, I wish I had some stock in that Starbucks downstairs, huh? But that's the kind of thing that you can look at. Of course, I believe that Starbucks is probably run through Aramark and everything too. So that wouldn't be a private location. I'd have to actually get stock in Aramark, I guess. But among the other things that you can kind of do, and I'm going to go back here, is I could save all those search results that I had, those 50-some matches. See that new saved search there? I clicked on that, I could actually create an account. You can create a personal account, and you do not have to use your MTSU email. You would want to access Data Axle through like the library here or any other library that has a subscription and is providing access to you that you are affiliated with. But you can create an account, or I could go up there and sign in. Let me show you where to find the sign in though, if you have already saved a search to your personal account. And that's over here where it says, hey, new personal accounts. And already have an account, log in. So that would be how you would be able to find it if you wanted to access a group of companies that you had already saved. And as I said, you don't have to put an MTSU email address. You do need to create your own password. And I've got several searches down here, one of which is coffee shops Murfreesboro. So I can save this and work off of this. So if you had things like marketing firms in Davidson County or something, you could create all of those things and kind of look at those fuller records of it and see if you could find some information about some companies that you would like to work for. Another nice thing about Data Axle is that in addition to these for-profit companies, they also include nonprofits and charitable institutions. The actual SIC code for it is social service and welfare organizations or charitable institutions. So you can pull up things like United Way or something. So if you wanted to work for them or any particular nonprofit that you were interested in, it's going to include that, and you can do the same search and see which ones are available in like Murfreesboro, Rutherford County, Davidson County, or any state, any city and county. So all of that information will be available to you. Some of the financial information, they do kind of do a template based on kind of the company size. I mean, they're not going to be able to call 101 million companies and make sure. So I think they do have some algorithms and make some assumptions, but it's a nice starting point. And I really like that you can see who's close by with the business, and also you can see competitors' reports and things like that. Well, does anybody have any additional questions? Okay, well, I am going to pass it on now to my colleague, Rachel Kirk. We can go on there.
Hi, I'm Dr. Rachel Kirk, and I am a faculty member here in the Collection Development and Management Department on the third floor. And I also work as a liaison to many of the departments in the College of Business. And so through that, I've gotten a familiarity with business databases. And there's one in particular I would like to share with you. Its name is IBISWorld. And IBISWorld specializes in doing kind of industry level analysis and gives you ideas about the strengths and weaknesses and the current trends of an industry, as well as telling you kind of what the forecast is, what are the areas in which that this companies in this industry need to succeed in to make them successful overall. And that sort of translates into the skills that they'll be looking for in their employees. So I will get started. I'm going to go to the databases A to Z. And I'm going to go under I. There it is, first one. And here it is. Okay. Here it's coming. Okay. So is there any industry that any of you are interested in looking into that you think you might be a fit for or you have an interest level in? Biology. So I think I'd have to bring it down to like biomedical or pharmacy or something like that. So what about biomedical company? Okay, that works. Okay. Oh my goodness. Another thing. Let's go back to. Okay, so I'm going to just go back and say biology, see what that brings up. 10 results. Okay, so there's forensic technology, such as, fingerprints and DNA testing. But I mean, this is a good example. You have sort of an idea of and then you can see what the options are. So let's look through these and see which of these you like the best. Toxicology, cryogenic biobanking, cosmetic and toiletry, animal health biotechnology, clinical trial management, lab testing, scientific and economic consulting in the US. So any of these that you like the best? You want to animal, okay. Okay. So that develops, tests, and distributes therapeutic drugs, diagnostic tools, and preventative products for livestock and companion animals. All right, so I'm just gonna come over here. So this is not a huge industry, but it's 14 billion. About 30,000 people are employed in this profession. There are about 197 businesses. They expect that number to go up in the next 5 years. Has a $1.7 billion profit and a 12% profit margin. So in the last session, I did 2 different industries and they both only had 6% profit margins. So that gives you an indication how lucrative this industry is. And I guess I should, while we're in that, I focused on the numbers first, but if you just read over it, so one of the things that's an issue is the complex regulatory environment that's, that affects and drives the industry a lot. They rely on private and public capital and private investment to fund research and development. So if you go to this, if you look at the side, we're going to go over some of these areas, kind of the competitive forces, some of the companies, the external environment, and then we're going to go to an area, which you can't see now, that gives like key questions for that industry, and that can prepare you for a career fair, if because it'll make you sound really smart that you know stuff about this industry. So I'm just going to go to products and market real quick on our way there. And so this gives us, so there's a lot, the biggest ones are medication and vaccines, and then anti-infective. And that makes sense. And then there's other, which we don't know, but we can guess shampoos for the pet. So they're saying that pet ownership is sort of pushing the biotech companies to develop breakthrough treatments. Vaccines and medicines are what's most sought after. And then what these are key success factors I was talking about. What does it take for these businesses to be successful? They need to focus on being early adopter of new technologies, and they need to be developing new products to remain competitive. I'm going to go down to competitive forces. Just let you know. So right now, everything's sort of steady, but the competition is increasing within this field. And as a part of that, there are barriers to entry that are increasing in this field, which means that as competition increases, it's making it harder to start your own company in this area. Everything else is kind of moderate, steady, low, steady, but pretty predictable. So when we talk about companies, and here's we have some more. So as you can tell, like when we talked about earlier that a lot of the work was being done in research and development, you need to ability to raise financing of this, and then like we said, comply with government regulations, and continue to adopt a new technology. I'm going to go to companies. So these are the biggest brands and trading names. Here is the biggest, I guess, public company, and it is, looks like it has about 13,800 employees and 5 billion in revenue. Let's go back up and let me check. 5 billion in revenue. And it's a $14 billion in revenue. So one company has over a third of the revenue. So that's a big company, dominated kind of by one big company. So you might want to just look into that company. Here's some more of the key success factors. They want to develop a skilled worker. They want a skilled labor force. And they want to have a strong market profile. So if you're interested in working in R&D or in marketing, and if you have a background biology, like this might be a good area. And if you have an opportunity to run into that kind of company, you might take a look at the prep question. That if you kind of read these and sort of keep them in your mind, like if you ask questions about their company like this, then they kind of see you as more knowledgeable and engaged and ready to really understand them in multiple ways. So this tool is one of my favorite tools. And then I think we get to roll. Okay. All right. So do you have, is there anything else you'd want to know about kind of looking into this field? Okay. for that, I would actually kind of look at their website and look at the jobs that they have posted there. That's one good area. And then I think Handshake would be an area where you could sort of look into internships and things like that. Now we just have a few minutes left, but can I find another area that somebody else is in? And we just look at it real quick. Okay. Human resources. Okay. So human benefits and resources and benefits. Okay, so we get the same thing at a glance. This is a huge industry, pretty big, 93 billion, over 1 million employees, 440 businesses, profit margin also 13.2%. Guys are interested in some lucrative fields. Congratulations. Okay, and the wages are expected to go up 2.8% over the next 5 years. The revenue is supposed to go up 1.9%. It's on an upward trajectory. Okay. So we go into more like graphs about performance, and you can see the annual revenue in this field is steady. The changes from year to year are more rocky, but they've leveled out since the pandemic. Okay. Go to Outlook. So small businesses, that's an area. Large businesses, also an area. And you know, the software and new technology into solutions is going to be a big factor. Let's look at competitive forces. So, one of the things about this is the competition is high, but the barriers to entry are low. So come on in and compete is kind of the way to see it. I'm also going to take you real quick to the external environment. Here are the drivers of the business. The numbers of businesses drive that area, obviously. Numbers of employees, how well the businesses themselves are doing, and access to credit, which is the business's used to grow. In this area, we're going to look at the call prep question. If you want to find, if you are able to find somebody in the career fair, you can ask them these kinds of questions. And I want to just take a few minutes real quick and show you one of the databases that we have and that you have access to is a database or a resource where you can kind of cultivate and learn skills, particularly technology skills. So I just want to show you, because if we go to A to Z databases again, we're going to go to O'Reilly. Online learning. And within here, I'm going to look real quick for human resources. Yep, human resources management, strategic human resource management. Okay, so they have books that you can read on it without having to pay for. Start learning topics, start learning courses, books, answers. You can take little books, build your skills, do different show me all courses. And this is more geared, slightly geared more to technology skills, but most of these areas are looking for people that have an ability to adapt to new technology. And so if there's something that they use, and you might ask them about what are their systems that they use and demonstrate your ability to learn new systems. Now, I just want to ask, because we have about 2 minutes left, is there any questions or anything that I didn't cover that you would like some more insight into? I hear silence. Okay, I'm just going to invite you to reach out to us anytime. You can come to the reference desk, you can call, you can chat, you can, you know, just come and ask questions. Ask us and we'll help you. And thank you for coming.